It's the Thursday of Holy Week, and today marks the birthday of communion. So here we are with the disciples in the upper room. You'll find our story today in Matthew chapter 26. The disciples have found a place for them and Jesus to have their Passover feast. So they went up to the upper room, and they're all sitting around the table, and Jesus is sitting with them. And he starts to mention that someone is going to betray him that's in this room. And the disciples get sad, and they're worried that they're the ones that are going to betray Jesus. And he says, well, there's the very person in this room will betray me today. But then Jesus did something that we practice all the time now for the very first time over 2,000 years ago. He sat with his disciples. He took the bread and he said, he gave thanks, he broke the bread, and he gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take and eat this. This is my body." Then he took the cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, saying, "Drink from it, all of you. This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. I tell you, I will not drink from this fruit of the vine from now until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." This marks the very first communion, the very first time that Jesus practiced this wonderful thing. And we remember today what Jesus did for us. He knew what was about to come. Friday was coming. Judas was about to betray. We see in the rest of our Bible stories today that Jesus predicts that Peter will deny him, and he ends up denying him 3 times. They go to the garden, and Jesus prays. And we talked about yesterday what that means. Who was he praying to? He was praying to the Father. And he prays one more time, "God, if it's your will, take this cup from me." But then they go to the garden, and he's seized and arrested. And then 3 times before the rooster crows, just like Jesus predicted, Peter denies him. And then Judas realizes what he's done and fully regrets his decision. So that's today. It's often talked about as Maundy Thursday. This day is often talked about, it's called Maundy Thursday. Can you help me with that, bud? That's what it's called. It's called Maundy Thursday. So not Monday Thursday, but Maundy Thursday. And a lot of churches and people will come together, and they'll have Passover meals together, and they'll practice kind of what happened in that upper room. But it's a very sacred day. So I encourage you as a family to come together for a few minutes. Think about what the disciples had been feeling in the moments when Jesus was arrested. They were scared. Peter loved Jesus, but he was so scared enough that he denied 3 times within just a few minutes that he even knew who Jesus was. And that's something that Jesus had predicted, that he's like, "Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times before the rooster crows." And he did that. So this day in history is a sad one and a scary one, because the disciples had no idea what was to come next, but Jesus knew what was coming. And we do now. But spend a few moments today as a family and think about the sacrifice that Jesus was about to make. Okay? I love you guys, and we'll talk again tomorrow.